Whoa. Hold the phone. This chapter just wrecked me. Like, man, that ending, that cliffhanger, the information, that conclusion of what Fujitora said, and what we saw in this chapter, it wrecked me. Like, said fucking done. I was wrecked, dude. When I saw that, damn. Okay, so, Fujitora. Straight up, best admiral. Like, he's quickly moved up into one of my favorite admirals. Even his stance at the end of this chapter, he's coming after, you know, Luffy and Law's head. He's going to put it on a platter. I still like him. I like what he did in this arc. I had my suspicions in last chapter, but it's confirmed with this chapter. It officially confirms a lot of what Fujitora's role was in this arc. And it explains quite a bit. To see how Fujitora, he let the pirates, as he said, do the work. He let the pirates do the work, and he set this up. He orchestrated everything in this arc to end up like kind of like it did. He made a gamble. He made a gamble, and he made a gamble hoping that Straw Hat and Law would take out Doffy. It'd be done. That's what he gambled on. And he stayed out of it. He stayed the fuck out of it. He's like, I'm not dealing with this. I'm just staying out. I'm going to let this roll. The reason why is because he set this all up for he can make the world government, the Navy, and everybody associated with them lose face. And kind of pin all the guilt on them of why all this shit happened. Because if we think about it, there's been many times throughout One Piece, many times, that the news stories have been altered and changed because of the world government trying to save face, where the people do not lose faith in them, or they don't learn the truth. They censor their newspaper. And to see how that finally, that entire equation that usually happens after every major ass fucking arc, that was X'd out, and they got the legit information. Everybody in the world got the legit information. Some bad shit is about to go down. Because you have it to where the 5 Elder Stars are saying, we're gonna be sending out CP0. Like, fuck this shit. We're sending out CP. We're done. That's kind of what they say in this chapter. And I'm like, oh, fuck. That's one thing. I mean, and then it's not just that, too. What was really good about this chapter, too, was just to see all these familiar characters throughout the entire chapter, just reading the news and seeing the shit that just went down legitly. Like, this news wasn't altered. It was the legit news, what happened. Everybody's looking at, you know, Law and Luffy like, oh my god, these two just fucked up a warlord, Doffy, Joker, and did this. And then now you imagine how pissed Kaido's gonna be. Everybody's looking at this like, oh my god, Kaido's gonna be mad, so fucking mad. Like, you saw examples in the chapter with people that were doing business with Doffy getting very pissed off because, like, they paid him money in advance, or they were setting up to go get Smile, and they were getting very mad because, you know, they no longer have Smile. They can't get Smile, and a lot of people are losing money. You saw an example of a country that can no longer continue to fight and go to war because they can't be supplied weapons any longer. I mean, there's just so much this chapter does and showcases. It's great. It's so damn great because there was no censorship in the newspaper, and everybody got to see the cold, hard facts and truth in this chapter. And I'm like, damn. So, let's get into the point. Fujitora, getting back onto him. To see his angle was to set up and orchestrate this entire event throughout this arc. Like, I mean, I remember seeing Chibi specifically 10 and even 15 weeks back ago, like when, you know, chapters were coming out. I remember seeing Chibi saying that Fujitora is straight up fucking useless in this arc. I remember Chibi saying it. I do remember that. And if you think about it, in the entire grand scheme of the arc, he did have his roles. He definitely had his roles, but he didn't have as much of a big role as we all hoped he would have. But now seeing what we're seeing with this chapter setup, it makes so much more sense why he just sat out. He just sat out, put on a little merry act, and that was it. And I like that. I really, really like that about Fujitora. He manipulated the government. He manipulated the government and everybody else. You can kind of consider how he manipulated Doffy in a way. Like, he, in a certain sense, he did manipulate Doffy just to set up this entire act to make the government lose face, and then go after Luffy and Law. So let's get into that. The ending of the chapter. You have Akainu talks to Fujitora and says this to him. He's like, I will deal with you when you get back, Fujitora. But for now, give me Law and Luffy's head. Now. And then you have it to where Fujitora's like, oh, I wanted that. I'm glad he finally said that. I mean, he didn't say those exact words, but you get my point. And to see how Fujitora is now going headhunting, he's becoming a headhunter. He's coming after Law and Luffy. And let's, look at the facts here. Luffy and Law, and majority of everybody that just got done with this large-ass arc finished, majority of everybody is wounded. Like, the only people that I think is in the condition to really even stand a chance against Fujitora at this moment, because Fujitora's not really even injured, if you think about it. He's not really injured. I mean, him and Sabo had a fight, but he wasn't really injured. I mean, if you look at it, he wasn't. So, looking at what is set up, like, everybody on the island at the moment, the only people I think that can really stand up at this time, unless I'm forgetting someone, I might be, but at this time, for what comes to my mind, would be Sabo and Zoro. Because Zoro, at the moment, he didn't really take much damage. I mean, he took a little bit, but not much damage at all. And so, Zoro, most likely, and Sabo are probably the only two that can fight against Fujitora. Because, look, Luffy's down. He's, like, incapacitated. Robin's been injured. Freaking Frankie, his eye, damn. Just, let's... I mean, all these other characters, even Toy Soldier Son, all of them. Rebecca, I didn't know, even Rebecca, I highly doubt she'd be able to fight Fujitora to begin with, but you get my point. All the characters, like even, the Coliseum guys have all been injured. They're not standing up to Fujitora, an admiral. And let's retrace our steps here, okay? At the beginning of the, this arc, we saw Zoro have a confrontation with Fujitora, and Fujitora used his gravity on Zoro, and Zoro got shoved down. We remember that. Zoro got out of it, yes. But still, Fujitora, from what we come to find out, wasn't really that serious, especially. So, for this to happen, Zoro might stand a chance, and I do think he stands a good chance enough to be able to hold his own, especially if he has, Sabo beside him. But Fujitora has shown he can hold off Zoro, too, so we'll see. We'll have to see. I'm really looking forward to this now. Like, I thought everything was going to calm down because, end of an arc, Doffy is down. Doffy's fucking down, and all of us thought that end of an arc, celebration, festival, drinking, eating, and then going off to a new adventure to find, the other half of the Straw Hat crew. That's what I expected, because that's the cliche of One Piece. And I mean, it's not a bad cliche, but that's what we've come to expect from One Piece. And then to see this, bro, I like it. I do. So, Oda, on point. On point. I mean, the Kaido scene, to all the different cast of characters we got to see, like the, the supernovas and stuff, like Kid going after Shanks, and I mean, getting to see, Kaido, like we saw, I guess, a glimpse of Kaido, because you see this giant, weird mountain structure with, mist all around it. I don't even know how to begin to describe that. The point still stands. Chapter, epic. Very epic. I can't express that enough. It's such a good chapter. It really is. I have so much hype. I wonder what's going to happen. I wonder if Fujitora is really going to try to take out the Straw Hats and also come after Law. Is he going to do that? Was he lying? We'll see. So tell me your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night. Wherever you live, please be safe. Chibi out.